thank, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl for extending the invitation to us, the opportunity to come compete in such an amazing city and iconic venue speaks for itself. The hospitality we've received since we've gotten here, the events that has been associated with the bowl game preparation, everything's been first class, and I commend these guys totally for that. We're really just looking forward to, we're really excited about being able to go out and compete tomorrow, one last time in this 2024 year. So thank you.
Anyone have any questions, please raise your hand. We'll walk around the mic.
Yeah, I'll direct this one to pretty much anyone who wants to kind of answer. Obviously, what has the last kind of month of practice been like? Shifting gears from the regular season, then getting some extra practice time, and then when the UConn prep began, I guess from your guys' perspective, just what has that stretch of practices kind of been like?
I guess I can take that. Having Coach Kitchens as a tight end coach, for 2 years now, some change has been, great and wonderful, and knows knowledge on both sides of the ball. And then, when the end of the season came, everyone was a little, down after the NC State game, but knowing that we got another opportunity to play was, great for us. And Coach Kitchens, stepping into to that head coach role, everyone's pretty excited, but he's always instilled into us, the tight ends, toughness of the game, and if he can bring toughness to the game, and other things will follow. So the last couple of weeks have just been being built on toughness and really just hammering that into us, and I think it's been paying off pretty well. But everyone's pretty pumped for this game to come, and we've all been pretty excited for all of the competition that we do in practice and everything. So we're all pretty pumped for the game.
Hey guys, I had a question for JJ and Cope. Y'all were around 2 years ago when you played in San Diego at the Holiday Bowl. That was the Petco Park Baseball Stadium. Now you're playing the baseball stadium tomorrow. What are the challenges of getting ready to play a football game in a Major League Baseball stadium? What do you remember about San Diego? Have you been able to get out there and test the field, here? That whole situation, if both of you can answer.
I think it's pretty cool just because this is an amazing venue. I've always been a fan of baseball. Fenway Park is such a historic place, and when you play on a baseball field, it is definitely different. When playing on the field, I think like San Diego did, they did a good job. We feel great, and we were about to come out here yesterday and see what the field was. Feel the ground, feel around the area. I'm excited for the game. I think it's a great place to have a great football game.
Yeah, and really just, it's another football game. It's just another opportunity, and background Boston. It's been incredible. So we're all pumped to play here. Like what JJ was saying, it's super historic. I think one of the oldest baseball stadiums. So super, we're all super grateful for another opportunity, and again, just to go out there and have some fun.
I'm going to go Elijah and Amari on this one. Athletes will go anywhere to find fuel. You guys were here 5 weeks ago. Didn't go very well. It was one of the worst performances in quite a while that you guys have had. Do you get any feel from that, or do you just forget that, detach it? It has no bearing on this at all?
Could you repeat the question?
You guys were here 5 weeks ago against BC, and didn't go 41-7 with like 5 minutes left. And can you get fuel from that, or is that overstated? Because I know a lot of athletes will take fuel from anywhere they can.
Yeah, well, I'll speak for me personally. No, we don't really get fuel from that game. We're kind of focused on UConn and been worried about ourselves. So, me personally, I don't have any fuel from BC, but I always think a little as a player and a competitor from bonding and seeing, practicing at BC. But for me personally, I don't have any fuel from that game. We're just focused on UConn and our team.
I would have to say the same. We're not really worried about the 5 weeks ago, the loss that we took 5 weeks ago. We're more so just worried about UConn and the next steps that we have to take as a team. So I'll have to say that again.
If I could expand on that too, 5 weeks ago has nothing to do with anything dealing with tomorrow. And, these guys have done a tremendous job of just trying to get better each and every day, and they've done that. And, they're only worried about this press conference right now. And then after this, we'll start worrying about meetings tonight. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll be worried about UConn. So BC and UConn has nothing to do with each other.
This is a question for Coach Kitchens. Going into this game, obviously playing on a baseball field, the dimensions are a little bit weird. You're going to be having benches on the same side, kind of running hockey-style line changes. How does that affect you? What does your preparation look like going into this different format of subbing on and off?
Yeah, we've definitely been practicing that during the course of these last couple of weeks. Coach Moore and I, he's never been a part of this either, so we kind of laughing about it a little bit. But I never heard it equate to the hockey style, but I kind of like that. It's kind of fitting, right? The Bruins are pretty big here.
And JJ, this is the first chance we've had to talk to you guys since a lot of stuff has happened. What have sort of the last 4 weeks been like for you with Mac and all the changes and then getting ready for a bowl game? Like you guys have been through enough this season already, but emotionally, what's the last 4 weeks, a month been like just to go through as a player and as a student?
Yeah, it's definitely been challenging. I think this past season was probably one of the most mentally challenging seasons I've had since I've been here. We've had a lot of things go wrong off the field and on the field, but in the past 4 weeks, Coach Kitchens really instilled in us, be where your feet are. And I feel like I've been able to take that day by day, on and off the field. And at the end of the day, we're here to play one more football game. I know this is my last football game in the Tar Heel uniform, so I'm gonna go out there and give it my all and just compete, and I'm just excited to be here.
Hey, Coach, with apologies to Mr. Miller, just a quick question. Will you have any communication with Bill Belichick going into the game tomorrow, back and forth, anything at all?
I talk to Coach every day, but not during the game and stuff like that. He understands we have a job to do here.
This was the 4 players. When Coach Kitchens was named interim head coach, how much did it help that such a familiar voice, as someone who's had some unique experience that he has, was going to lead you the rest of the way in a football sense when so much other stuff was going on around that could have been distracting? And how did he kind of keep you guys focused on this task and not about everything, and kind of keep you away from everything else?
I can speak on that. Again, just with him being tight ends coach for so long, it's definitely the tight ends had a better perspective about everything going on. So exactly what Coach Kitchen says, just being where your feet are with with everything with Ty Lee, with Coach Brown, it's just control what you can control, and if it's out of your control, you just gotta be where your feet are. If you're in meetings, you're in meetings. If you're in Boston, have a good time. That's exactly what you're doing. So you can't really focus on what's to come in a week or two, and you got stuff to handle during that day or that week. So, but really just honing in on being where your feet are, because there could be a lot of times during the season or even after the season with the head coaching change and everything like that where everyone could spiral. But he just we had a team meeting and just telling us you got to be where your feet are no matter what. So.
Very quickly, for Elijah and Amari, you guys are on defense. He wasn't obviously a position coach. How did you guys receive it that he was the guy, and what were some of the early things that he did that made you guys uber focused on this task and not worrying about all the other stuff that was going on?
Kind of same thing as Bob said, just being where your feet are and not really focusing on what's the outside noise, just how much noise is being made on the outside, just work on in to the inside, and focus on us, and focusing on your brothers, your team, the next task that's at hand, and just what he brought to the table, just toughness. He continues to talk about toughness, competing, win your one-on-one battles, and just being where your feet are and worry about today, and worry about tomorrow, or the next day.
Between going back the last 4 or 5 weeks and all that's gone on, has there been any added buzz to the campus at all? Either, being in the bowl game, having Freddie take over, and also the thought of Coach Belichick coming aboard. Have you guys got a sense, of any extra pump, exhilaration, anything about the program going forward?
I'll speak on that. Obviously, coming with a great coach like Coach Belichick himself, there's going to be buzz, there's going to be hype. But as a team, I feel like as a unit, behind Coach Kitchens, we're all focused on this game and winning this game. So that's kind of outside noise. I feel like speaking personally, I feel like speaking for the team. It's a lot of outside noise that just focus on winning.
Yeah, just, when we figure out, all right, we're going to a bowl, we're going to know which one, but Coach Kitchens is really saying, just look to the person to your left, look to the person to your right. That's who you got. If the coach wants to leave, you can leave. If the player wants to leave, you can leave. But we know that we have a job to do, and that's going to be coming. The Fenway Bowl, and that's all we were focused about was one-on-one battles, competition, being tough, and the person on your right, the person on your left, and that was all it. So.
We'll take one more question for UNC, and then we'll bring UConn out.
Yeah, just for anybody, this game sort of marks the end of an era, maybe the start of a new era. So can you talk about what it means to you guys, and do you feel like it's a new era about to start?
Yeah, definitely gonna be a new era. This game will show, or we can take things from this game going forward. Me being the only person returning, that's gonna be with the new staff. This game will definitely show some of the younger players, some of the players that we have, what they can do going into next year. But like I said again, we're all focused on winning this game and competing in this game, and we've been focused on this game the last month. So that's been a big thing for us. Yeah.
I know it's going to be somewhat of a new era, but at the end of the day, I don't think any of us would be here without Coach Brown, the things he's done for the program. I know he's helped me out a lot personally, and when he took this job, his goal was to get UNC back on that stage, and I think he did his job to perfection. So without him, none of us would be here. So I feel like he's the reason why we're all here. I just want to put that out there.
I would second that sentiment that JJ said. Coach Brown did a lot of good things for the University of North Carolina and Tar Heels, all over the country. We've got thousands and thousands, but really this bowl game is more about, these guys that are never going to wear a Carolina uniform again, and making sure these guys go out with the best, feeling possible about the program. They left the program in a better spot than when they first got here. So these guys have won a lot of football games for Carolina, and for them to have a part in the new beginning, I think it's special. But again, we've got a game tomorrow to kind of send these guys out on the right path.
Thank you so much. We'll bring out UConn now.
Appreciate it, guys.
Well, thank you for taking the time to be here this afternoon.
I want to extend a thank you to the City of Boston and the Bowl Committee for providing an outstanding experience for our players and our staff. Being away from home for Christmas hasn't felt like being away from home. Everyone's been so welcoming. The hotel has been amazing. I think the highlight so far for me, and I'm sure for these guys, has been the ability to come to Fenway last night under the lights, get on the field, throw the ball around, go behind the green monster, get in the batting cages, see the World Series trophies, and just experience the rich history and tradition of this amazing ballpark. And tomorrow's going to be really special. To be able to take the field at Fenway and play a football game will be a memory we'll never forget. And to be able to play a quality opponent like UNC, an ACC opponent, is a huge challenge for us. And I think we're really excited about that opportunity. So on behalf of all of UConn Nation, I just want to say thank you very much to Boston and the Bowl Committee and the people here at Fenway for making this a wonderful experience for us. Thank you.
Okay, we'll open up to Q&A.
Yeah, Jelani, maybe Chase could speak to this too, but or any you might want to weigh in. But for those of you who were here during the 1-11 season, when Coach Morrow walked in the door late in that season, went to some of the games, could you have envisioned something like this happening, that the program would gain the momentum that it's gained these last 3 years?
Yeah, I just remember that first encounter I had with Coach Moore. It was in 2021, right before the Clemson game. Me and my dad went up and shook our hands with Coach Moore. And I just remember the emotion of confidence that just bled through Coach Moore. And I kind of fed off that ever since I met him. And really since that day moving forward, getting to the point we're at now, I kind of just seen like the way we've prepared and the way we do things at UConn and how it's kind of translated to the field. It's just been super special to be a part of this group. I can say I've been here for 6 years now. These past 3 years have been nothing short of special. And this year in particular has definitely been the best one.
Well, I got here in the first spring when Coach Moore got here, so I wasn't here early on, through the tough times. But one person I think about in particular through those times is my brother Dow over there, and he's told me everything. He's been here for 6 years along with Chase, and this is just a blessing to be here where we're at now. And at least for me, honestly, when I first came here, I knew from meeting Coach Moore and the staff that we had something special, and we had the opportunity to do something special. And, ever since we all came here and put in the work together, we've just been making deposits to make sure that this day comes to fruition. So here we are now.
Before you ask me a question, I'll say we've got we have 8 captains, so everyone on the team's a captain. But John Nyland, who's a wide receiver, he's a special teams captain. John Bechtel, special teams captain. Belmont, who's, as Jelani just said, has been here a long time, and Cam Edwards. So if you want to ask them questions as well, they're able to answer.
For Jelani and Coach, just can you describe what the experience surrounding this game has been like? I know you guys have been here for a couple of days. What have you been able to do? Saw you maybe got a tour of the stadium and things like that. Can you just describe what these last couple of days have been?
For me, honestly, all of these things are great. Like Coach Moore said, we're thankful, for everyone who put all this together. But we came here to work at the end of the day. A lot of the guys here, I know they agree. So that's all I have to say about that, honestly.
I think I like what Jelani says. We've tried to have a really nice blend of work and then enjoying the experience. Our players have spent a lot of time together. It's a very close team. I think they've enjoyed spending the holidays amongst one another, away from family. They don't necessarily be like being away from family, but they just enjoy the company of each other. And we've worked hard. We did not get off our schedule and our routine at all. Having a Saturday game has helped us. One of the reasons we were a little late this morning is because we practiced at a certain time the day before the game, and we stuck to the script. These guys have had great practices all week. I've been really impressed with the maturity of the team, their ability to focus in when it's time to work and yet still enjoy the great experience that the city of Boston and the Fenway Bowl has been able to provide for these guys.
for really anyone here. You're playing in a very interesting location. You're playing at Fenway Park, one of the weirdest dimensions in baseball, but in a bit of a strange dimension here. For the football game, benches on the same side, really tight in one of the end zones to the wall. What kind of preparation has gone into this one with substitutions, coaching from further away, anything that kind of has had to be different heading into this one?
Well, we've put in a lot of work practicing the special situations. Like, we put all of our guys on one side of the field, like, mimicking the side we'll be on game day. And we'll go through our situations from the hurry up stuff with the offense, the field goal stuff, the defensive signals, offensive signals, making sure everyone's in the right position and mimicking game day, because that stuff can lead to a penalty and things of that nature. So we just try to make sure we do the best we can to mimic what we'll do on game day to make sure that everything goes smooth when the game comes.
For whoever's willing to answer this one, obviously on the other side of the ball, a lot of focus has been over there, right, with who's coming in as the next head coach and a lot of the talk, kind of the outside noise. Are you guys able to glean anything from that, kind of take something from that going into the game, or do you just try to block it all out and focus on yourself?
We don't try to, we do. It's irrelevant to us. We can't control the emotional component of our opponents, and so we don't try to. We focus on what we can control, and that's our preparation, that's the way we work, that's the attention to detail, it's the mindset, it's the way we go out and perform. And as far as I know, Coach Belichick will not be taking the field on Saturday, so it's irrelevant to this football team.
This is for Coach Mora, and then I just would love one of the players to weigh in too. But
Jelani will weigh in. He's doing a good job so far.
Who's the most talkative besides Jelani to weigh in? No, but really, what struck you? You guys got to get on the field last night. What struck you about coming in here? What did you look around at? What caught your eye? Just kind of how did you take it all in besides the wonky dimensions?
It's like we're in a baseball stadium, and this is like not the same as a rectangle. We're gonna be on the same sideline. I actually grew up practicing on the baseball field, so it wasn't that weird. But being on the same sideline, like Coach said, we've just been practicing the tactics and like the bright lights. They said we sold about 25,000 tickets and counting, so that's gonna be great. And that's really about it. Just the turnout of the event is gonna be big, and like you said, the dimensions of like the whole setup is gonna be different. But we practiced that all week, and we're gonna definitely adapt to it.
I think for me, it was very special to see, because I remember 2 summers ago, I was able to attend a game here at the park, and at the park. And then, so it was kind of neat just to see the different setup and the field layout. And obviously yesterday, being able to just like get a feel of how it's going to be on Saturday, that was very important. But also just see the Green Monster and just seeing the UConn on the Green Monster, I think that was pretty special. And then the 4 quarters, and we just got to make sure that once those 4 quarters are done, that we go 1-0 on this Saturday.
For me, it was a history. Just, I'm a little bit older than these guys, and just, I've always been actually a Red Sox fan, believe it or not. And so to be able to take the field, I've sat in the stands many times, but actually saw Carter Yastrzemski hit a home run here when I was a kid. And to be able to go behind the Green Monster and see how it operates, it's just, those are just amazing memories. And I know as these guys go through their life, they're going to reflect back on these moments. And it's going to mean more and more to them as they get older. And I'm sure now that, when the Red Sox are on TV, they'll probably tune in a little bit longer and say to their kids, hey, I was on the field at Fenway, with Big Papi. And you see, it's pretty special.
Thanks. This one's for Valentine. Just wanted to check, so I'll just follow up when you said that you got to come here a couple summers ago. Growing up in Europe, were you already aware of some of the history of Fenway or the allure of it, any of that, or is that your first time seeing this?
Completely honest, I did not know what baseball was before coming to the United States. I would say skiing and soccer is Austria's favorite pastime, but obviously coming here the first time and just seeing all the fans and the way Boston loves this baseball team, that was very special. And like all the tradition, you can definitely feel it in this place. There was a family sitting in front of us. There was a son, a father, and a grandfather. And actually the kid ended up getting one of the home run balls. I mean, that was pretty special right there. They got teared up, and I thought that was pretty neat to see. And just that the whole, all those generations who grew up watching that same team, I mean, that was really, really special.
Thank you guys for being here. Appreciate it. How challenging, Coach, for you guys is it? You've had a long layoff since the regular season, and this game, you know, guys might be sitting out on either side, and it's a different team you might be scouting compared to what you would have seen earlier in the season with film. How do you adjust for that when there's so many extra factors that come with it on top of it being at Fenway and all these other things? So prep, scouting, the whole 9 yards.
Well, we're fortunate because there's only one player that was able to play, physically able to play for us. It's not going to be with the team. So we are just business as usual. When we scout an opponent, we're certainly going to prepare for the opponent. Obviously, with Freddie Kahn plays, it's going to be a little bit different. But the schemes that they use, those will stay consistent. Any game that you go into, you have to be ready to make adjustments mid-game, during the game, well before halftime. But the most important thing you can do is you can master your craft. You can put the work in. You can be detailed. And like I said, have the right mindset, be ready to adjust, and play as hard and as physical and as violent as you can, and go out and execute. And so that's our focus. It's always be prepared for your opponent, but we're playing against our standard. And that's, you see him shaking their head, that's what we preach. And we believe in that, and that's what we'll try to demonstrate tomorrow.
Thank you.
Jim, just to kind of build on what I asked players before, but what does all of this represent to you as far as the momentum that this program has built? You know, a conference tie-in was moved to get you here, right? Somebody obviously wanted you guys here. What does that all represent to you in terms of what's being built and the momentum at UConn?
It means a lot, Don. First and foremost, the commitment of the university to football, which I think has been demonstrated over and over and over again. Secondly, just the dedication, the commitment, and the hard work of these guys sitting to my right and these guys over here and their teammates back at the hotel right now. A lot of them acted on blind faith, and their commitment to achieving things that haven't been achieved here in a while has been extra special. It's been extraordinary. It's uncommon. I've said it to you many, many times. This is, and I told these guys today, this is the most rewarding and the most special football team I've ever been around in my entire career. And it's because these guys work for it. They care about each other. There's no entitlement. They don't expect anything to be given to them. They're committed to the process. And it's unique in today's sports environment to have a group of 115 players like we're lucky to have at the University of Connecticut. And it also, to me, signifies progress. And that progress is built on the backs of these guys. And, you know, David Benedict over here, who's, you know, she sat in my living room 3 years ago, and we talked about this and where we want to be, and we're getting there. We've still got a long ways to go, but the commitment is there. And once again, it's because of, these are special men, and they're going to be successful in anything they do in life because of the lessons they've learned here at UConn.
This is for Coach Mora. You just talk about coming from the pros. What does a bowl game like this mean to you, and your personal experience? You know, what's it been like, you know, to come from the NFL and coaching in college?
It's been amazing. It's football's football on the field, but football off the experience off the field between the NFL and college is very, very different. It's much more personal at this level. You're dealing with a younger athlete. They maybe need you a little bit differently in their lives than a professional football player does. The opportunity to come to a bowl game and experience the events and the camaraderie is different than anything you ever experience at the NFL level. And at this point in my career, in my life, it's what I enjoy most. Having the chance to spend time with these guys, and our whole staff it's just different. And Freddie and I, we competed against each other in the NFL several times. And as we were talking before we all walked out here, it was, we both agreed, it was just the experience of being around student athletes that makes this so special.
I'll direct it at Chase, but if any of you guys, players, want to chime in, what does it mean to you that so many guys have stayed with this program over the last month with everything going on, practiced and plan on playing in this game, to finish this thing out with you guys for your last game?
Yeah, I think one thing for me that I've always lived by is loyalty. And you look at guys that have been here in the past. I'll use one example, and this guy I think about a lot, and Christian Haynes. I mean, he was a guy who bought into this program every single year he was here. He was here for 6 years, and I tried to live my life based off how he did and how the habits he formed. He formed all these good habits, and he wanted to be a leader for this team. And I just sought after him, and I thought everything he did was special. And so the way I kind of live my life now, and the way I try to lead these guys on the field and like off the field, I try to live through him. So I'd say loyalty is the biggest thing amongst this entire program, and I say if you can buy into that, then you can really be a part of a special team and make something happen. So
I wanted to add something else. Another thing I feel like is, like Coach Moore mentioned earlier, is like blind faith and just like trusting the process of what we have going on and trusting the people that are around us. Like, we have a great support system in the entire facility, the program, everything. Like Mr. Benedict, like everyone, puts their time in to help us get where we want to go. And it's just, a blessing for us to all be here now, today, and surrounded with the people we love and people that love us. So.
There's been a lot of discussion in the last couple of years about bowl games and their place in the sport. What does these events mean to you as a team, as a coach, as a player, coming into something, a postseason game? What do these events mean to you personally?
I think we're very appreciative to kind of reap the rewards of our hard work. I mean, all year we try to fight for that extra, that 13th game. And so it means a lot to be able to come here and obviously not forget about what got us here in the first place, and obviously put in the work still on a daily basis, but at the same time just be able to experience what we achieve for ourselves, and then not forget to all that work that led to this the whole year, not just during the season. So it's definitely special to have those moments and celebrate it together as a team, because it took every single person on the whole team, on the whole staff to get to this moment.
Hey Jim, you took over a 1-11 program, I want to say 3 seasons ago. This is your second bowl. Obviously you have a chance to win 9 games, which is an incredible accomplishment. What do you think could be the next step for UConn football in the unique position where you are?
The next step was to win that 9th game tomorrow. That's the first step. And then to evaluate where we are and bring in quality people that are good football players, continue to populate our program with winners that have the right attitude, that are selfless, that are committed to the team, committed to being great. And I would say for us, David does a great job of scheduling, and we played some Power 4 teams, and we've been really close. We haven't been able to get it done on a consistent basis. So the next step for us is to be able to, we're one of only 3 Group of 5 teams to go undefeated against the Group of 5, which I think is a pretty great accomplishment for these guys. But for this program, we want to start not just competing with, but beating some Power 4 teams and making the statement that, we are becoming very relevant again on the football field. And if we continue with that mindset and with guys like this, we're going to have to replace these guys in their leadership. And you can tell by listening to them how special these young men are. They truly are. And those 4 over there are the same. We have to continue to make a priority of bringing in the right types of people into this program, and we'll do that. It's become increasingly harder with the portal, but we have we've hit pretty good so far because it's important to us. And we don't gloss over anything that could help or hurt this program.
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it.
Intersection of sports, content, and storage. We're proud of many of the Fenway Group properties, and we're thrilled to be a part of this program. Have a great game tomorrow. Look forward to seeing you folks on the field and seeing you folks afterwards as well. Thank you.
Last speaker before Coach Kitchens, I'd just like to welcome up our a friend and partner, President and CEO of Meet Boston, Martha Sheridan.
Thank you, Brett. Like everyone else, I'll be very brief. Just want to say on behalf of Meet Boston, the city's official tourism marketing organization, the city of Boston and Cambridge and the region, welcome to Boston. Our goal is to make sure that the athletes, the coaches, their families have an extraordinary experience while they're here, and I think we've accomplished that. Also want to thank Wasabi and Fenway Sports Group for really growing this event at a time of the year when Boston loves to fill more hotel rooms. So thank you to everyone being here. I'm sure some of you media folks are staying overnight and experience our great city. We're looking forward to some great plays tomorrow, a great game, and again, just want to say thank you and welcome to Boston.
Last time you'll hear from me, I promise. Before we kick it to Coach Kitchens here, I did just want to give a quick statement here and say, out of respect for the players and the coaches who have earned their way into this game, rightfully so, we really ask for all attending media to keep questions focusing on the players and coaches that are here today. I don't need to beat around the bush any more than that. I know there's probably a lot of questions that you guys have loaded and swirling around next year, particularly on one side. So again, please do your best to keep it on these guys because they've earned the right to be here. Thank you. Coach Kitchens, you can sit or stand, whatever you want.
First, I'd like to thank, the Wasabi Fenway Bowl for extending the invitation to us, the opportunity to come compete in such an amazing city and an iconic venue speaks for itself. The hospitality we've received since we've gotten here, the events that has been associated with the bowl game, preparation, everything's been first class, and I commend these guys totally for that. We're really just looking forward to, we're really excited about being able to go out and compete tomorrow, one last time in this 2024 year. So thank you.
Anyone has any questions, please raise your hand. We'll walk around the mic.
Yeah, I'll direct this one to pretty much anyone who wants to kind of answer. Obviously, what has the last kind of month of practice been like? Shifting gears from the regular season, then getting some extra practice time, and then when the UConn prep began, I guess from your guys' perspective, just what has that stretch of practices kind of been like?
I guess I can take that. Having Coach Kitchens as a tight end coach, for 2 years now, some change has been, great and wonderful, and knows knowledge on both sides of the ball. And then, when the end of the season came, everyone was a little, down after the NC State game, but knowing that we got another opportunity to play was, great for us. And Coach Kitchens, stepping into to that head coach role, everyone's pretty excited, but he's always instilled into us, the tight ends, toughness of the game. And if you can bring toughness to the game, and other things will follow. So the last couple of weeks have just been being built on toughness, and really just hammering that into us. And I think it's been paying off pretty well. But everyone's pretty pumped for this game to come, and we've all been pretty excited for all of the competition that we do in practice and everything. So we're all pretty pumped for the game.
Hey guys, I had a question for JJ and Cope. Y'all were around 2 years ago when you played in San Diego at the Holiday Bowl. That was the Petco Park Baseball Stadium. Now you're playing the baseball stadium tomorrow. What are the challenges of getting ready to play a football game in a Major League Baseball stadium? What do you remember about San Diego? Have you been able to get out there and test the field, here? That whole situation, if both of you can answer.
I think it's pretty cool just because this is an amazing venue. I've always been a fan of baseball. Fenway Park is such a historic place, and when you play on a baseball field, it is definitely different. Playing on the field, I think like San Diego did, they did a good job with the field ready, and we were allowed to come out here yesterday and see what the field was. Feel the ground, feel around the area. I'm excited for the game. I think it's a great place to have a great football game.
Yeah, and really just. It's another football game. It's just another opportunity, and background Boston. It's been incredible. So we're all pumped to play here. Like what JJ was saying, it's super historic. I think one of the oldest baseball stadiums. So super. We're all super grateful for another opportunity, and again, just to go out there and have some fun.
I'm going to go Elijah and Amari on this one. Athletes will go anywhere to find fuel. You guys were here 5 weeks ago. Didn't go very well. It was one of the worst performances in quite a while that you guys have had. Do you get any feel from it, or do you just forget that, detach it? It has no bearing on this at all?
Could you repeat the question?
You guys were here 5 weeks ago against BC, and didn't go 41-7 with 5 minutes left. And can you get fuel from that, or is that overstated? Because I know a lot of athletes will take fuel from anywhere they can.
Yeah, well, I'll speak for me personally. No, we don't really get fuel from that game. We're kind of focused on UConn and been worried about ourselves. So, me personally, I don't have any fuel from BC, but I always think a little as a player and a competitor, reminding and seeing, practicing at BC. But for me personally, I don't have any fuel from that game. We're just focused on UConn and our team.
I would have to say the same. We're not really worried about the 5 weeks ago, the loss that we took 5 weeks ago. We're more so just worried about UConn and the next steps that we have to take as a team. So I'll have to say that again.
If I could expand on that too, 5 weeks ago has nothing to do with anything dealing with tomorrow. And, these guys have done a tremendous job of just trying to get better each and every day, and they've done that. And, they're only worried about this press conference right now. And then after this, we'll start worrying about meetings tonight. And when we wake up in the morning, we'll be worried about UConn. So BC and UConn has nothing to do with each other.
This is a question for Coach Kitchens. Going into this game, obviously playing on a baseball field, the dimensions are a little bit weird. You're going to be having benches on the same side, kind of running hockey-style line changes. How does that affect you? What did your preparation look like going into this different format of subbing on and off?
Yeah, we've definitely been practicing that during the course of these last couple of weeks. Coach Moore and I, he's never been a part of this either, so we kind of laughing about it a little bit. But I never heard it equate to the hockey style, but I kind of like that. It's kind of fitting, right? The Bruins are pretty big here.
And JJ, this is the first chance we've had to talk to you guys since a lot of stuff has happened. What have sort of the last 4 weeks been like for you with Mac and all the changes and then getting ready for a bowl game? Like sort of like you guys have been through enough this season already, but emotionally, what's the last 4 weeks and month been like just to go through as a player and as a student?
Yeah, it's definitely been challenging. I think this past season was probably one of the most mentally challenging seasons I've had since I've been here. We've had a lot of things go wrong off the field and on the field, but in the past 4 weeks, Coach Kitchens really instilled in us be where your feet are, and I feel like I've been able to take that day by day, on and off the field. And at the end of the day, we're here to play one more football game. I know this is my last football game in a Tar Heel uniform, so I'm gonna go out there and give it my all and just compete, and I'm just excited to be here.
Hey, Coach, with apologies to Mr. Miller, just a quick question. Will you have any communication with Bill Belichick going into the game tomorrow, back and forth, anything at all?
I talk to Coach every day, but not during the game and stuff like that. He understands we have a job to do here.